Hello guys, good day everyone. This is the Creators Lodge and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so we are almost at the end of the year 2024, and so I thought of doing a crossover flyer design for you guys. Alright, so some of you might want to do a crossover design and you are looking for a tutorial on how to go about this, so I've decided to do this tutorial, this crossover service flyer design, guys. Now guys, when you look at this design, you are going to see that everything on this design speaks about the crossover service. Right now, we have different ways of doing design, different unique ways of doing design. All right, now you can decide to make your design not to be casual. All right, you can decide that you don't want to do the normal thing people are doing, and you can decide to do the normal thing people are doing. All right guys, now but when you look at this my design, you are going to see that I shifted, or I moved away from the norm. All right, I tried doing something different. All right, now normally when you look at a crossover design, all right, most of the crossover designs, you're going to see that at this place you definitely see maybe someone crossing here, something like that, or you see someone jumping like a leap and stuff like that. So that's the the usual style that people engage. But then when you look at my design, you're going to see that the major forefront of my design, I just have like more like a building here, more like an house, a sky, a light, reflecting over the sky, and then I have someone trying to submount a mountain, or trying to climb up a mountain to the other side, climb up a mountain to the other side. Now when you look at this design, this speaks all about the team crossover. This here speaks all about the team crossover. All right, but I just decided not to go the normal way of just putting the image here very big, and very bold here, as you would see in many designs. All right, I decided to use a different way, different from the norms, and just do something here like this, and then play around my background. Can you see this, guys? Just play around my background. And when you look at this background also, there's something unique about this background. Now you're going to see that there are two mountains. All right, two mountains. Now this is the first mountain here. I'm going to show you guys now. And this is the first mountain here. Now when you look at this part of the mountain, you are going to see that it's a little bit it's not as bright as the mountain here. All right, not as bright as the mountain here, and it's very, very significant. All right, so this actually means that, all right, this guy, all right, in the course of this year, he has surmounted this mountain here. All right, he has gone past this mountain, he came to this valley here, gone past this mountain, came to this valley here, and now he has one more mountain to surmount. He has this mountain to surmount before coming into 2025. That's crossover. All right, so you can see that it follows the story. All right, you can see that it follows the story. All right, just like a person scaling through challenges, scaling through difficulties, scaling through the hurdles of the year, and coming into rest. That's just what it symbolizes. All right, so that's all about this design. And then I just added little flares on the design, my dispersions of light. Can you see that, guys? Dispersions of light. Now coming to this, you're going to see 2025. Just it's a PNG. All right, I'm going to be giving you guys the opportunity to get this. It's a PNG, and you are going to get the resource file for this design. Now guys, without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is to bring in my background. So I'm going to change it to 3:4, and you just mark this like this. Now the size I used is the 3000 by 3500 size, so I'm going to increase this size of my background this way. Alright, I'm going to mark it this way. Alright, and I'm just going to lock the layer this way. Alright guys, I'm going to lock the layer. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on shape. Alright, and I'm going to click on gradient. I want the black and transparent gradient. The upper to be black and the bottom will be transparent. So I have this. I'm just going to mark this way. Now I'm going to impute a texture inside of this background, and that texture is going to be the blended background. So let's import the texture. You click on texture and you pick from a gallery. Alright guys, so I was going through Pinterest yesterday and I came across this background, so I decided to use it for this design. So I'm going to click on 1:1, and then you have something like this, and then I'm going to click the mark button. Now can you see this, guys? So I'm going to increase the size this way. All right, just increase it, let it fill the the design like this. Just increase it this way. Yeah, so you have something like this. And then what we're going to do next is to just reduce the opacity a little bit here, and then you have something like this, and then you lock the layer, and then you're good to go. Now the next thing I would be doing here, all right, is I'm going to save this as image. I'm going to save as ultra, and the reason is because I want to bring in the last background for this background manipulation, but the background I cannot manipulate it here in the Pixellab application, so I want to do that in PicsArt because I want to make use of the screen and the overlay application, the screen and the overlay effect. So let's go to PicsArt. We're coming back to Pixellab. Alright guys, so these are the photos we're going to be using. So let's start with this. So I'm going to take this up here. Let's start with the lens flare. Alright, so I'm going to increase the size of my lens flare this way. All right, and I'm going to click on blend, and I'm going to click on screen. All right, let's see I'm going to click on screen, yeah, and I'm going to place it somewhere here this way, like this. All right, yeah, so I have something like this. That's for my lens flare. Now the next thing I'm going to do, which is this second image, all right, I'm going to crop this image this way. I'm going to crop it this way. All right, so I have something like this. Just crop it this way. I'm going to mark this, and then I'm going to increase the size this way. All right, like this here. I'm going to move out, increase a little bit. Yeah, so you have something like this, and I'm going to click on blend. I'm going to click screen, multiply, light, darken, lighting, overlay. Good. So we're going to be making use of overlay. All right, so this is the effect we're going to be making use of. This is overlay. All right, so we're going to make use of overlay. Now I'm going to bring the third image. All right, so I'm going to increase the third image this way. This is just for dispersion of light. All right, so that's just the essence of this particular image. So I'm going to place this here like this. Yeah, now we can actually do this, we can actually go back to Pixellab, import all the text and everything, and then come back to add this dispersion of light. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't want to go back to Pixellab and then when I'm done I come back again to add dispersion. So I just want to add the dispersion of light once and for all. All right, so I'm going to click on blend. I'm going to click on screen. So you just check the blending options, check which one is best for this design, and I think that the screen is best for this design. All right, so once you are done, all right, you can just mark this and then you download. So I'm going to check it just to be sure that I'm done here. All right, I think that I am done. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to mark this, and I'm just going to save this to my gallery. All right, so let's save this to gallery. Let's save. All right, now let's go back to Pixellab application. All right guys, so this is the background. I'm going to import it into our workspace. I'm just going to increase the size this way, and I'm going to lock the layer. So we just have this like this. All right, so this is the manipulated background we did from PicsArt. So I'm going to click on text, and I'm going to start writing our text, which we have crossover. Yeah, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click on color. I'm going to change to white, and I'm going to click on text, and I'm going to choose the font I used, which is the Stranger font, Stranger Dreams italics. Yeah, so Stranger Dreams italics. So I'm going to make use of this text, and I'm going to click on the align and make this centralized because it's not centralized. I'm going to click on my padding because I'm seeing that my text is cut out and I don't want it to be cut out. So I'm going to click on padding and ensure that it's not cut out here. So I'm going to centralize this way. Now I'm going to reduce my line spacing because the space in between cross and over is too much. So I'm going to have something like this. Now the next thing I want to do is to add shadow, because this is a white text and the background has white on it. So I want my text to stand out on the background. So that's the reason why I'm adding the shadow behind the text. I'm going to click on shadow. I'm going to offset the shadow. So when you are adding shadow to your text, make sure you offset. You always offset. All right. So offset X and offset Y. So you have something like this, and then you increase the blur a little bit, but then you reduce the opacity a little. So I'm going to choose this opacity and see. Yeah, so I love this opacity, so I'm going to centralize this again. Cool. Now the next thing we want to do is to bring in the PNG, but I already have the PNG here. All right, so I don't want to be going back to my gallery to pick that. So I have the PNG here, and the PNG says 2025. So I'm going to duplicate the PNG to show you guys what it looks like. So this is the PNG 2025. So I'm going to, and I also added a shadow. Now this is the shadow, all right, at the bottom of the PNG. Now the essence of this shadow is to just make it look like the 2025 is realistic. Right guys, so I'm going to create a circle shape for the shadow. I'm going to just reduce this way, so you have something like this. Reduce this way, all right, like this. Now I'm going to click on 3D rotate. I'm going to click on my x-axis just to rotate a little bit like this. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity, and then I'm going to click on shadow. So you have that, that black fill shadow. All right, but make sure that the shadow is behind the PNG file. All right, and then you reduce the opacity of the shadow a little bit. All right, like this. So let's see. I'm going to move this down again. The shadow is too light, so I have to add thickness to the shadow. Yeah, something like this. I'm going to move up the shadow a little bit. It's going to be close to the 2025 a little bit, like this. Okay, so you have something like this. Now and then I'm going to write moving into. All right, so I'm going to click on my text. I'm going to change to moving into. All right, something like this. All right, so I'm going to click on color. I'm going to change this to yellow color. All right, now I'm using yellow because yellow works best on this design. All right, I love yellow, and yellow works pretty cool on this design. So I'm going to change this font to the Montserrat. I'm going to be making use of Montserrat. Let's do Montserrat medium italic. Let's see. I'm going to place it on this moving into. All right, so let's place it on moving into. Let's see. All right, like this. So you have moving into. All right, and then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to write join us for. All right, join us for. Okay, so we have something like this. Now I'm going to click on spacing, increase the spacing of join us for, reduce the size of join us for, increase the spacing, so that you have something like this here. All right guys, can you see this guys? Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the logo. I already have the logo here, so I'm going to move the logo to front. Yeah, so this is the logo guys. I'm going to lock the layer of the logo. So we have the logo here, we have this here. Now the next thing I want to do is to create the shape, but I've drawn the shape here, so I'm going to make the shape visible. I'm going to explain to you guys how I created this shape here. Can you see the shape guys? So this shape, all right, you're going to pick your brush tool. You're going to click on your draw tool here, and then you pick your color, your white color, and then you increase the smoothness to 100, and then you increase the brush size this way, and then you can start brushing. All right, you brush until you get what you want to brush. Can you see this guys? So this is how I created the shape. So once you are done brushing this way, all right, you increase this size like this. Remember, this is white color. Okay, so once you are done brushing, you increase the size like this, and then you lock the layer. So I'm going to make this invisible so I show you guys. I'm going to lock the layer of this one we just did. I'm going to click on color. I'm going to click on white color, and then I'm going to click on the draw tool again, increase the smoothness, increase the pen size, choose white, and then start brushing all over. Start brushing, but ensure that this second time what you are brushing is not going out of that first line that you drew. All right, so you start drawing, you just keep on drawing like this. Can you see this, guys? So you keep on drawing until you have something as perfect as this. So when you are done drawing, you are going to merge the two drawings together. So once you merge the two drawings together, you are going to have one shape. So that's how you create the shape, guys. Okay, so but I don't want to use this shape. I want to use this particular one that I did. I love this one. Okay, so this particular shape that I did, that's what I want to use. So I'm having it here this way. All right, so you have something like this, right? Now let's bring in the original design to see, how far we've gone. So I'm going to bring this to front, guys. I'm going to take this to front. Yeah, okay, so can you see this, guys? After the crossover, we're going to write service. Okay, so I'm going to click on shape, have a shape like this. All right, reduce the size this way, place it somewhere here like this, reduce it this way, and mark this. All right, now take it to back of the crossover. Okay, so you take the shape back of the crossover text. Now I'm going to bring this shape this way, just bring it front here, take it to front a little bit. Okay, I'm going to lock the layer for the crossover. Now I'm going to reduce the size like this. Okay, I'm going to bring it down. All right, bring it down, just bring it down this way. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this join us for service, click on this and then change it to service. All right, so I'm going to change this to service, and then you click OK, and then you place this here. So I'm going to change this color to black, and then I'm going to increase the size of the text. I'm going to increase the size of the text, and then you have service here, centralized, placed here. All right, so you have this, and then let's just make sure it's centered on the design. Can you see this, guys? So you have join us for crossover service. All right, now the next thing you just want to add is to begin to add your call to actions. So I'm going to click on service, and I'm going to pick my call to action, and then I'm going to close up the spacing. Remember, we did line spacing, so I'm going to close up the spacing, so I have 0 here. All right, and then I'm also going to change the font to Montserrat. We have this as medium 8 lakes, but I don't want to use that, so I'm going to change this to Montserrat medium, I think. So I'm going to use Montserrat medium. Let me see. So I'm going to reduce the size this way. So let's check out the original and see. Okay, so we have Lagos, Nigeria. So I'm going to change that text. I'm going to change this to Lagos. All right, now please do note this is a fictional design, so the venue is a fictional one, guys. So I'm going to change this, and then you just place it here, reduce the size. All right, and then let's see. We have center. Okay, yep. So I'm going to place it here. All right, so let's make this invisible. So I'm going to increase the size of our venue. So I'm going to increase the size this way. Okay, now let me try out another method. I'm going to check this out and see if it works. All right, so let's try a method here. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to click on Montserrat bold. All right, Montserrat bold. So you have this. I'm going to increase the size this way. I'm going to bring this up here like this, bring this up here. So I'm just going to try this method and see if it's going to work out for this design. So let's see. Let's place this in the middle like this. Let's see. Just going to try this out. All right, now because while doing this, I just noticed now that the space at the top of my venue won't be enough for me to communicate my time. So I'm looking for the best way possible to place my time. All right, I'm looking for the best way possible to write my time. Now, guys, this is just I'm just using this concept right now, and I think I'm loving the concept. So let's make use of the meter rule. I'm just going to check this out. All right, okay, so I'm going to check this out. I'm going to take this here like this. Let's do this. Let's move this to 25. Let's move this to 25. Let's ensure that it's aligned. All right, so place this here. All right, you move the shadow. All right, you align the shadow. Okay, so let's move the 2025. and I'm going to click on the shadow. I'm going to move by 2. I'm going to click on moving into, all right, and I'm also going to move by 2. Okay, yep. All right, so now let's check this. Okay, going to see. All right, so I'm going to reduce the time this way. Just reduce the time this way. Click on line spacing. All right, the space between 10 and AM. All right, just increase that space between 10 and AM, so you have something like this. Let's see line spacing again. Let's see. Let's move this up, place this here this way. Okay, let's move this up a little bit again. Increase this a little bit. All right, and then move up again. Now I'm trying to ensure that the time aligns with my text. All right, I'm trying to ensure that the time aligns with my text, so I'm going to increase this text again and see. All right, I'm going to increase this text again and see. So I have 10 a.m. Move this here, so we have this 10 a.m. all right. Let's reduce by 2. The 10 a.m. is quite big. All right, so let's have this 10 a.m. and then we have the venue here. Now for this venue, you can decide to make bold the number 2 next skin event center. All right, so you highlight the next skin event center and then you make this bold. Yeah, so you see this, you have number 2 next skin event center, you make it bold. All right, now the next thing I want to do is to copy this, and then I'm going to write the the date. All right, so you have this 31st. I'm going to check out the original to see how it was written. Yep. All right, so you have 31st December and then you have 2024. So I'm going to make this alignment the left side alignment. Can you see this, guys? So, and I'm just going to reduce the size this way. Now I'm going to make use of my meter rule also to ensure that this is aligned here. So I'm going to increase the line spacing because it's a little bit choked here. All right, so I'm going to increase the line spacing. Now I'm going to move this line down here to ensure that it's aligned, it's not going out of a margin. All right, so I'm going to place this here. All right, to see this if we're good to go. So I'm going to move this here a little bit like this. All right, yeah, and then we have this. Now I'm just going to click on save image and save this as ultra. Now I'm going to add the lens flare in the PicsArt application, and when you are done adding lens flare in the PicsArt application, the last thing you'd want to do is to enhance this design in the Adobe Lightroom application. If you want to know more about the enhancing, you can check my course in this video description and get it. Now let's go to the PicsArt application. Alright guys, so this is the lens flare. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to click on blend and then I'm going to click on screen, and then you have something like this on your design, guys. So remember, this design is, there's no form of red on this design, so you don't want to leave your lens flare as red. So you can click on adjust, you click on hue, and then you can change your lens flare to the blue on the design. All right, so something like this, and then you have something like this, and then you mark this, and your design is done and ready, guys. So all you need to do is to save and enhance in Adobe Lightroom, and with this you are done with the crossover flyer design. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video, and with this video we have come to the end of 2024. All right guys, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for staying on this channel all through this year 2024. We are going bigger and stronger in the year 2025. I wish you guys a happy new year. Until next time, guys.